Hello everybody, Mike here. In today's video I want to talk about how you should spend more time mastering your instrument rather than getting caught in the trap of acquiring more gear. This is a trap that is also known as gear acquisition syndrome. It's a bit of an addiction. We've all been there. I've definitely been there at one time or another. It's that point where you are chasing, different tonal possibilities with the guitar, and the way you go about it is you invest in new guitars and new amplifiers, and then there's a big one for me, which is acquiring pedal after pedal after pedal. Not only is it not a cost-effective way to improve, it's just not an effective way in general. It's not a good method to honing your tone and really improving. And what I'm going to be talking about is how you should really spend more time learning how to use one instrument and really getting to know every feature of it really well. So a simple question I want to pose to you before we continue is, before buying that 10th overdrive pedal, have you really taken the time to figure out how your pickups work? So most of the sounds that we are after as a guitarist are generally available to us with just our guitar. I know effects pedals can be very useful in their own right, but when it comes to the fundamentals, you should really take the time to master your instrument. Just figure out how the pickups work, how you can dial in tones using just them, how you can use the tone controls, and even how you can use the volume. You don't always have to have the volume at max. And we'll go over this now. I'm going to show you some demonstrations on my Stratocaster, and here we go. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use this same amp setup as I show you what each pickup sounds like. This is a clean Fender amp in Amplitube. So I'm starting on the neck pickup here, which is this one, and that is my go-to for anything that requires a cleaner, more mellow or warm sound. And it sounds like this. And if you move down to the opposite extreme, to the bridge, that is this humbucker down here. It's a totally different sound. This is more aggressive, punchy, etc. You should be able to hear there's a clear difference between this bridge pickup and the neck pickup. You've also got options in between. So for instance, if I go up one on this pickup selector here, I'm now playing the bridge pickup and the middle pickup at the same time. And as you can hear, that has its own very unique sonic character in itself. And this is the one that kind of reminds me a bit of Mark Knopfler. It's got like a nasally character to it. But of course, there's also the tone controls as well on the guitar. So on the Strat you've got 2, and generally speaking, when you're at 10 on the tone controls, you're aiming for the brighter side of things. If you roll all the way back, you get a much darker sound. So this is the tones all the way rolled back on the neck pickup. And the same on the bridge pickup. I'll just roll the tone all the way back to 10 as I'm sustaining a chord. So it should be very clear watching this just how much control you have just using the tone controls and the pickups. And I forgot to mention, of course, there's the volume switch as well. So as I mentioned earlier, it's not just something you can just crank up to 10 and leave. You can also mess around with, say, let's say, I've got quite a crunchy sound with the bridge pickup, but I just wanted to roll it back so it was airing more on the clean side of things. You can just roll the volume back a bit, say to about 6 like I'm doing here. And obviously it's quieter, but tonally you should be able to hear how it's cleaner as well. That's great in a live setting, especially when you want to go from a more distorted sound to a cleaner sound, like say between verses and choruses. So I hope those demonstrations helped. I would say that taking the time to actually get to know my instrument this well was one of the biggest breakthroughs with my own playing. I often find now, for instance, that it doesn't really matter what rig I plug into, it doesn't matter if I have my pedals with me or not. I can generally get the sound I want using just the guitar itself and some basic adjustments on an amplifier, because that's where 90% of the tone comes from. It is in your hands, it's in your playing, and it is in how you choose to set the pickups and the tone controls and everything like that. So if you're currently at the stage where you don't really understand these things, you aren't entirely sure what your pickup selectors do, for instance, or you don't mess with the tone controls or even the volume, I would think twice before investing in more guitars, more amplifiers, more pedals, and just really take time to understand the basics. It will get you much further than just acquiring more gear. And when you do understand your guitar and how to dial in a tone, that is when pedals can be used as optional enhancers. So if this is like new to you, I would encourage you to go away and start practicing this concept. Like for instance, roll the tone all the way to 0, see what sound that makes, and experiment basically, have fun with it. And if you'd like to try that out of some backing tracks, I have got plenty here on the channel for you. Please feel free to go and have a jam over some of them. And if you'd like to check out my tracks further, or get some exclusive content, please feel free to check out my Patreon. But that is all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.